everybody, it's Dr. Mark, and I want to thank everyone for watching this as we discuss this evening, or wherever the time may be when you're watching this on YouTube or any of our other social media outlets, including NTSC Institute, the platform that will teach you how to bring chiropractic to the masses with impeccable communication skills and the ability to sell and close based on congruency with values and principles of chiropractic. Very exciting. So tonight we address the state of chiropractic in the year 2025. Now, this past year I've been to quite a few seminars in different parts of the United States and South America. And I am humbled to find out that many people really don't know me and they don't know what I've done. So that's fine, and I get it. I don't talk so much about what I've done in the past in chiropractic, and obviously maybe I should a little bit. So I'm going to address just a little bit of that this evening. My name is Dr. Mark J. Romano. I grew up in Boston, went to school in Davenport, Iowa at Palmer College of Chiropractic, and I have been practicing in the sovereign state of Mississippi since 1994. Graduating in 1993, licensed in Massachusetts, South Carolina, and Mississippi since then. So in practice, I associated till 1996 and went into solo practice. I did have a nice associateship, and I was very thankful, especially for being introduced to the Blue Books, which was a powerful impact on my practice and my life. So I have served as the president of the Alumni Association for Palmer College for the state of Mississippi. I have also been vice president of the FSCO, which is now the IFCO. I have been two-time president of the Grand Council of Delta Sigma Chi fraternity, the oldest chiropractic fraternity in the profession. And currently I sit as the chairman of the board of the Chiropractic Trust and one of the original founders. Very fortunate in my life that I've been able to practice and speak throughout the Americas and reach different parts of the world with this message of chiropractic. So looking back at the history of chiropractic, of course, founded in 1895 in Davenport, Iowa, with D.D. Palmer taking care of Harvey Lillard, a deaf janitor, and Harvey having his hearing restored. And D.D., very smart man, magnetic healer, school teacher, came up with all these cool concepts of, how to ship fish. That fish, it didn't matter how much water the fish were in, but the surface area where the fish could feed, that was most important. Discovers chiropractic in 1895 and believes to have the cure for deafness. People come into his office that he opens up, coining the term with his Reverend Samuel Weed, chiropractic, done with hands, and opens up Palmer Infirmary, chiropractic infirmary, and then in 1897 opening up a school, Palmer School of Chiropractic and Infirmary. All of these folks having all kinds of conditions go away, and chiropractic ultimately being an alternative to medicine due to the same objective as medicine of getting sick people well and keeping the well from getting sick. So chiropractic as a profession starts as physical medicine. And of course, you have tremendous animosity between the chiropractic profession and the medical profession. And believe me, folks, there's guilt on both sides of this. So chiropractic begins to experience massive adversity pretty much out of the gate. B.J. Palmer, very young, I believe he was 17 when he was the treasurer of Palmer School of Chiropractic, later on going through the chiropractic program. Probably was teaching classes before he was actually in the program, which is very interesting. So chiropractic is still focused on getting sick people well. Now, the medical profession does not like chiropractic, and they're doing everything that they can to discourage chiropractors from practicing. And chiropractors are getting arrested for practicing medicine without a license in their office. Chiropractors, instead of paying the misdemeanor fine, say we are not practicing chiropractic, but rather we are doing something completely different. This could have been the start of a revolutionary model of chiropractic. However, it didn't stay the course. B.J. Palmer began to defend these chiropractors around the country and winning cases that chiropractic was a separate and distinct entity. In fact, we even say that today in chiropractic, that chiropractic is a separate and distinct entity. Now, we'll go in later on to whether the profession holds true to that statement or not. So, at any rate, chiropractic begins to seek licensure from state to state, which, by the way, B.J. Palmer opposed licensure, where he always was of the position that schools should be the entity that is enforcing the chiropractic objective, not state licensure that would get us as a profession involved in politics, in legislature, and lobbying, which BJ felt would not be in the best interest of chiropractic, and perhaps was very right in a lot of those areas. However, having lost control of the profession, there was really no way at this point schools could enforce what chiropractic was. The first class graduating Palmer School of Chiropractic literally formed their own school and were teaching things in a radically different way. So the profession was almost doomed from the start to having any real relevant organization. As time goes on, licensure does happen, especially after B.J. Palmer passes in 1961 and his son David takes over. And David had things that accomplished things that his father would not agree with if he were alive. And totally fine. All families have their clashes, all families have their drama, and the Palmer family certainly was no exception, as Dee Dee and BJ had their calamities, and BJ and his son David as well. Well, David begins to have a 2-year curriculum, a pre-chiropractic curriculum before you can enter into chiropractic school. BJ never would have done that. If you ever read BJ's 44 green books, now BJ did not write them all, and some of those green books did repeat that there were same copies. However, BJ wrote the vast majority of them, and throughout the green books, especially in BJ's later years, the idea of going to a school before chiropractic school, as BJ would put, to learn things that you would have to unlearn at chiropractic school, BJ just saw that as a very much a waste of time. So at any rate, David has these prerequisites into chiropractic school, perhaps to more legitimize how people viewed chiropractic at that time. Sadly, David died in 1978. So the profession keeps going forward, and basically we have the two models at this time within the profession is simply that whether or not you are addressing vertebral subluxations exclusively, or you're adding therapies. So that was basically what determined if you were a straight chiropractor or what they called a mixer chiropractor, that you were mixing things into chiropractic, and which is ultimately to dilute it. Now, as the schools begin to form, and then we have an accreditation agency that's called the CCE, chiropractic begins to take on more qualities of getting sick people well. It becomes more an alternative to medicine at virtually all the schools. So now chiropractic is very hard to define. Now we're approaching the 80s, where there's complete licensure through each sovereign state. When we look at chiropractic licensure, it is from state to state, where you have a different definition of chiropractic and different rules, and some states being more conservative and other states being more liberal in what a chiropractor can do. In 1980, there was also a massive legal case that was won called the Wilkes case, in which, the AMA was found guilty of, harassing chiropractors and basically paying police officers to arrest chiropractors for practicing medicine without a license, and also denying chiropractic medical insurance and denying chiropractic guaranteed student loans. My question has always been, did winning this case, which was looked at as a massive victory in chiropractic, did it truly help chiropractic? chiropractic, being a separate and distinct entity, was never designed for major medical insurance. So therefore, instead of being a separate and distinct profession, what chiropractic as a whole had to say is we're doing the same thing as medicine. And having guaranteed student loans now created massive rise in the tuition of chiropractic colleges. And within chiropractic colleges, there's a diversity of colleges that focus on the vertebral subluxation and other colleges who want to deny the existence of vertebral subluxation as a chiropractic school, a health science. I don't know what they're teaching if vertebral subluxations aren't involved, but it is much more a medical modality. The reality is both of these schools of thought really focus on chiropractic as an alternative to medicine, whether you're exclusively adjusting vertebral subluxations to get sick people well, or, and logically, including different modalities to get sick people well. It is a natural progression and evolution for that to happen when your objective is to get sick people well and keep the well from getting sick. So, by the 80s, we have licensure in all states. The last 3 states to get licensed, if I'm not mistaken, is Massachusetts, Mississippi, and Louisiana. So with the inclusion of chiropractic into medical insurance, the volume of people that chiropractors were seeing continuously goes down. That at one point, chiropractic offices were seeing hundreds of people a day. There were people who would come in, have their spine checked for vertebral subluxations, and live better because of it. After the inclusion of medical insurance, chiropractors saw less people and charged more money. During this time, probably in the late 50s, early 60s, a young chiropractor named Reggie Gold, who also graduated from Palmer College, realized in practice that, look, not everybody gets well under chiropractic. And not everybody who is well stays well under chiropractic. And that there's more than one thing necessary in life for your body to function at its highest potential, or at least closest to its highest potential. The habit of chiropractic is one powerful habit, simply saying that vertebral subluxations, when they exist, are always bad because they interfere with the expression of life. They interfere with the expression of innate impulses. And this is always a bad thing. Every chiropractor who acknowledges the vertebral subluxation can certainly agree on that. And Reggie further goes to say we cannot predict what physiological outcome will happen through the adjustment of the vertebral subluxation back to its innate normal position. I don't think anybody would logically argue with that. Your body is a very, very complicated structure. And when we look at Stevenson's textbook and we look at compound cycles, we want to think that this normal complete cycle, which I do believe we need to restructure and change the names because it's looking at innate intelligence and universal intelligence as a personified entity, and these are more principles. They do not create things. They do not think things. They simply execute things as a principle, much like the law of gravity and the laws of thermodynamics and the laws of confined gases and entropy and extropy and so on and so forth. So when we're looking at these cycles, there are countless complex cycles happening every second, every minute within the body. It is so complex that we're blown away at the potential that the vertebral subluxation has to interfere with these cycles, going from a normal complete cycle to an abnormal complete cycle because of a vertebral subluxation. And in no way is the vertebral subluxation the only entity that can make the normal complete cycle an abnormal complete cycle. It is one entity, and it is an entity that the chiropractic profession exclusively focuses on, studies more than any other profession in the world, and it is truly our niche, the vertebral subluxation, not to get sick people well, as Reggie Gold would say, not to keep the well from getting sick, but simply for a better expression of innate impulses, which in and of itself justify the need of chiropractic for every human being on this planet. To see your chiropractor every single week. So here we are. Now, Reggie Gold passes away about 10 years ago. Shortly after Reggie Gold passes, one of the greatest authors in chiropractic history passes, Joe Strauss, taking all that great knowledge in the green books and making it easier to understand and refining things to be more congruent. Oh, dare I say, BJ was incongruent from time to time. The man had the weight of a world on his shoulders. The man had the weight of a profession on his shoulders. And all of this principle of chiropractic that it was newly discovered was just that, still new. We're still figuring out these principles. The reason why chiropractic philosophy must be written in pencil is not because these principles change, it's because our human understanding of these principles change. And as Reggie discovered the non-therapeutic model of chiropractic, it put us in the position to really look at the state of chiropractic from 1960 and to today, which hasn't changed very much. Yes, there have been revelations and better understanding of these chiropractic principles. And the reality is, within chiropractic, we have two professions, two separate and distinct professions. We have one profession that is the therapeutic model of chiropractic, that uses chiropractic to get sick people well and keep the well from getting sick, that tries to predict physiological outcomes. And it looks almost at times as if chiropractic is a cure-all. It's kind of silly. Do I see the need for research? Do I see how research can benefit the profession? Absolutely. We just need to have a bigger picture and incorporate chiropractic principles into our research that will give us a better understanding and better application of the research and also of that research in practice. After Joe Strauss's passing, fortunately, Claude Lessard has taken over the writing of the Blue Books, and he has written books such as Chiropractic Timed Out, Chiropractic Basic Science, where he brilliantly, very necessary to tweak the 33 principles in a way that's better to understand. Less and no personification of the universal and innate intelligence, but rather looking at them as universal law of principles of life, or universal principles and innate law of living things. So they are not personified. The universal intelligence, universal law, doesn't think about things and gives us answer to things. No, it simply acts out what it's created to do. Universal law. Innate law of living things is reside to the living matter in which it is present and taking care of that matter, coordinating function within that matter for the survival of that matter, so long as it can do so without compromising of universal principles. And Claude also is now rewriting Stevenson's into freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior text. They have been a great endeavor, and very thankful that Claude is doing that as well. So within this state of chiropractic, having two models, we have different organizations. And these national organizations are necessary for any profession to be an actual legitimate profession. Some of the organizations may be redundant. I'll post in the comments, because when we look at the different organizations we have four major organizations that are probably worldwide, and that would be the ACA, the American Chiropractic Association, the ICA, the International Chiropractic Association, and then there was the FSCO. And the FSCO had a parting of ways that formed two groups. And the two groups that are in existence right now from the FSCO, the Federation of State Chiropractors and Organizations, is the Chiropractic Trust and the IFCO, the International Federation of Chiropractic Organizations. So when we're looking at the ICA and the ACA, not a whole lot of difference. They're both focused on getting sick people well. ACA may use more modalities to do so. ACA may even push more for different sort of prescriptions, which is where this profession is going in the therapeutic model. ICA was about less than 6 votes away at one time from merging with the ACA. But the difference is very unclear because both are focused on getting sick people well. Perhaps one of the differences could be that the ICA recognizes the existence of vertebral subluxations, and that's legitimate, and that is a legitimate reason to be in existence. If we're using the adjustment of vertebral subluxations to get sick people well, then they're really, on the big picture, there is no difference, as they are both in the medical model as physical medicine. Now, what is the major difference between the IFCO and the Chiropractic Trust? I don't know, because I've been meeting with a lot of folks in the IFCO who are wonderful folks, by the way. I know initially when the Chiropractic Trust was formed in 2012, the Chiropractic Trust took a much harder stance, that it was absolutely 100% non-therapeutic, that the mission of the Chiropractic Trust, like most likely every organization, is to bring chiropractic to the world. The purpose and how we define chiropractic, that chiropractic is the analysis and the facilitation of the adjustment of vertebral subluxations, because they, in and of themselves, are detrimental to the expression of innate intelligence. Chiropractic is all education toward this objective, and chiropractic is nothing else. That the Chiropractic Trust holds very firm to that. In fact, to go this far, and this may be a difference between the Chiropractic Trust and the IFCO in regards to these two groups being the only two groups in the non-therapeutic model of chiropractic on an international level, that the Chiropractic Trust disassociates from any outcome physiologically whatsoever after the adjustment has been made. Pre-analysis of the vertebral subluxation, post-analysis that the vertebral subluxation has been adjusted and that vertebral subluxation has returned to its innate normal position, logically resulting in the only outcome that a non-therapeutic chiropractor is concerned with, a more fuller expression of innate impulses through the analysis. And that is the end of the chiropractic job. That is the end of the chiropractic objective. And if you're focused on health or healing or any physiological outcome, that will put you back into the practice of physical medicine. Trying to predict any physiological outcome within the body, a condition, symptom, or disease will put you in that model of physical medicine, which the vast majority of chiropractic is in right now. So we have these two models in chiropractic. And the school that's holding on to chiropractic philosophy, the school that's holding it in reverence more than any other school at this moment, and challenge me on that, by the way, is Sherman College of Chiropractic. Now, we're talking about schools, particularly in the United States, but what happens in the United States does happen worldwide. And when we're looking at all the different schools, Sherman College holds the philosophy of chiropractic in reverence, making progress, having events that allow folks to really think and talk and debate this chiropractic philosophy. And I'm not saying there isn't other things going on. I tell you what, I love what Rob Sennett's doing. I think Rob Sennett is brilliant. I think and he worked a lot with Reggie Gold. Now, Rob and I may disagree, and Rob may possibly be in getting chiropractic, getting sick people well, which I will put in the category of physical medicine. And we can disagree on that. I would love to debate it, and Rob is what I would consider a dear friend of mine. And Rob has made a comment, and legitimate comment, that, Mark Romano's the only person that I know that practices exactly the way he says he practices, or says when he's speaking. And Rob and I have been friends for, probably going on 30 years, and I think very highly of him, and I can tell you that I am definitely not the only one, and we have tremendous mutual respect, and I do have folks, especially every leader within the trust, that I know practice 100% congruent. We're always slipping and checking each other. I would love to say to you, oh yeah, well, when you're in this model, you never slip up. You never go down a slippery slope. The reality is you do. However, you open yourself up to criticism and critique all the time. I love when chiropractors come in to visit me. I love when they can observe and see things, and we can go back and forth through the crucible of criticism and debate. And I love a great debate, and I open myself to debate, an actual debate on a chiropractic topic. And the topic that I love to debate, because it's so necessary, is the two models of chiropractic. And what is the difference? And which one should win out? Because I can tell you which one is winning out. And the model that's winning out is where chiropractic started. And that is the physical medicine model, the therapeutic model of chiropractic. And so what do you have as a result in the state of chiropractic today? It happened in Arizona. It just recently happened in Montana, where legislation comes up that prescription drugs are trying to come into the law within these states. Remember, chiropractic is sovereign per state, law per each state board that goes through legislature. Okay, so from state to state, the chiropractic definition in law does change because of state sovereignty and state licensure. You see, so in both times, putting prescription drugs into chiropractic has been voted down. Montana people got a little nervous because it was only one vote that kept medical drugs out of chiropractic. And I'm here to tell you, folks, just like Prince said, I'm here to tell you, it's going to pass. Why? Because when your objective is getting sick people well, you're going to do whatever it takes to accomplish that objective. You're going to do the things that are going to get sick people well. If you're in the medical model, you are going to medicalize everything you do. It's a natural evolution. And now I'm over here, and I remember Reggie Gold used to say this. Reggie Gold would say, well, you have, because Reggie was from Great Britain, just outside. He was in a certain part of London. Reggie's a tough cat, man. He served in World War II. He was with Special Forces. Tough cat, man. But he would say, in the profession, you have your mixers over here, and you have people so straight they can't bend over here. Now me, I'm over here. And every day I wake up, if the needle of chiropractic profession is here, I'm trying to move it to there. And I get it. I love this profession of chiropractic. I love the history. I love the people. I love the evolution. Reggie realized you're talking one of the greatest minds ever in chiropractic, one of the greatest speakers ever in chiropractic, one of the greatest leaders. Chiropractic did not want to leave getting sick people well. Chiropractic did not want to leave being the doctor. Yeah, little Fred Barge reference there. I love Fred Barge. Fred and I had wonderful disagreements and agreements, and wonderful fella. Never left the model of physical medicine. Sherman College is the last school to submit to CCE for its survival. It simply says, okay, we did what we had to do to get our accreditation. Sherman College still wonderfully teaches the philosophy. I'm not saying other schools aren't doing it. There could be great schools doing it also in New Zealand and Australia and throughout Europe as well. There could be schools, that are teaching the philosophy in trying to articulate it to students. Whether it's Cleveland College, Parker College, Logan College, it can be happening there. I'm not getting reports that it is, but it can be happening there. We must remember, as Reggie said, chiropractic does not have a philosophy. Chiropractic is a philosophy. You cannot practice chiropractic without chiropractic principles, because when you do, you're simply not practicing chiropractic anymore. And that's what's happening in the state of the profession today. The vast majority of chiropractors are getting sick people well. They're in the medical model. They're practicing physical medicine. They're being reimbursed by major medical insurance where you have to speak their language. Even research has to be in medical language, unfortunately. It takes courage to stand up and say, this is our lexicon. This is what we bring to the world. This is the difference that we can make in people's lives. So when we're looking at the public perception, because of how we as chiropractors communicate amongst ourselves and bring chiropractic to the world, our public perception is what? If I were to say to folks who are my friends, put down in the comments what you think chiropractic is about. You're going to say back pain, neck pain, headaches, all of these different things, maybe even in children, ear infections or colic babies and all of these symptoms that have gone away under chiropractic. None of them are predictable. Many things can be causing these symptoms to happen. In every circumstance, everybody functions better when vertebral subluxations are adjusted. And that, my friends, is across the board. But if we're going to reach the world, we're going to have to improve our public perception by having a clearer message, sticking to our objective. Could chiropractic get to a point that we have two separate professions? Well, the reality is we already do have two separate professions. That's the reality. We're two separate professions licensed under one national board and all licensed under whatever state that we're practicing in. The public perception is chiropractic is a very temporary service for temporary conditions, and if those conditions don't go away, then chiropractic didn't work. Chiropractic has failed you. And so that's where we're at. And people come in on a temporary basis. It's very difficult or challenging to have people come in as a habit. I hear this feedback from many different chiropractors. Insurance does not pay for chiropractic as a habit because insurance is a medical entity that does not pay for maintenance service. It pays for treatment service. And if you're following insurance on the same person every year, you must change that diagnosis every year. So you're medically diagnosing your practice members and you're offering a treatment for whatever condition thereof. And you better make sure you're differential diagnosing so you're not denying medical necessary care. Whereas the non-therapeutic chiropractor simply says, look, we're not here to deny you care from any health provider in the world. We're not here to tell you what to do in regards to any other service you may or may not need. We are advocates. We are experts in chiropractic, in simply saying everybody benefits from the habit of having your spine checked for vertebral subluxations on a regular basis. And if we stick with that objective and we take care of our community in the same way that we take care of our own families, now we will begin to reach more of the masses in the public, sticking to this objective. Dealing with rejection. Rejection is a very temporary thing. If I told you, or if I told my editor, my director, Alan, that look, you got to go through 100 no's to get to the yes that's going to get you $1 million. That's going to get you to be $1 million player. You're going to go through those 100 no's as quickly as you can. So many times I see chiropractors and in different fields as well, not just chiropractors, but this is the state of chiropractic, that are so afraid of that rejection, so afraid of being told no, so afraid of not being liked, that they give in. And they start to say things that they're sliding on that slippery slope. 30 years ago, I used to do the same thing. Well, things could go away. There's the hope that cancer could go away. This could go away. I mean, of course it could happen. The minute you say that, though, you're putting that person that they are now there for a treatment of that to go away, and they're missing the big picture. When the reality should be this: every man, woman, and child from the moment they're born should think it's absurd not to have their spine checked by a chiropractor. It should be illegal. It's more important than seatbelts. It should be illegal for children not to be seeing their chiropractor on a regular basis. But chiropractors have a hard time either understanding this message or sticking to this message. Hence the reason why I make videos, I have an online training platform, and also we have the national, international organization of the Chiropractic Trust. And we are affiliated with Sherman College, and we would be affiliated with any other college that has the love of chiropractic principle, that has the love of chiropractic philosophy. When we look at chiropractic principle and philosophy, what is the difference? This is how I would describe the difference at this time. Principle is a basic science. Claude Lessard makes this so wonderfully clear in his book, Chiropractic Basic Science, that we look at the 33 principles not as a philosophy construct, but rather as basic science. Show me any basic science that doesn't agree that there is a universal law in all matter, continually giving it its property and actions, thus maintaining it in existence. That's every law within physics and chemistry. That's every basic science. Applied science is how we apply it in practice. Now we're going to get into the study of why, and that's where the philosophy comes in. Yes, there's going to be massive overlap because philosophy is the study of truth, the study of why, and it cannot conflict. Just like innate law of living things cannot conflict or break universal law in taking care of the matter in which it resides. So we can't have chiropractic without these discussions, without these understandings, and without this application in practice. Because if we lack these things, we are no longer practicing chiropractic. We are now in the realm of physical medicine. So to reach the world, 7.8 billion people seeing their chiropractor every single week. We must embrace rejection and move forward from that. Work on our communication skills. I'm constantly working on my communication skills. I've been in practice going on 33 years that I love. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe I've been practicing. I've had the privilege to practice this long, graduating in 1993. What a privilege it is to do so. And I'm constantly getting better. I can go back even on the institute, the NTSC Institute, and go back and think, okay, we need to redo some of these videos because we need to update them. We need to speak in more clearer terms. And we're constantly putting more videos. And that's right, my video director's shaking his head because we got to get back in the studio to do more videos. It is, once again, written in pencil because our understanding improves. And then our understanding about how humans receive information improves, you see. Our communication through experience improves. And we want to bring that information to you. And you have the Chiropractic Trust there, an international organization to join. Because if this makes sense to you, we have that unity, fellowship, and it makes this model of chiropractic credible. Without an international organization, we're just a bunch of rebels scattered all over the world. But everything in chiropractic favors organization, and having organization makes us stronger and more powerful in our endeavor to reach the world, helping each other grow. People would say, well, what is the point of the Chiropractic Trust? One, it gives credibility to the non-therapeutic model. Second, it is a learning resource. And third, it gives us necessary fellowship, seminars, debates, all kinds of great things. And when we look at reaching the world, do I think that we can reach the world through the therapeutic model of chiropractic? No. And let me make sure I'm clear in saying this. The therapeutic model of chiropractic lacks vision because there's only so many conditions you can treat with physical medicine of chiropractic in that model. That's why chiropractors get upset if a new chiropractor opens up close to their office. They have associates sign radius clauses so they won't steal their patients from their offices. This is all limited vision that comes through the medical model of chiropractic, physical medicine. And that keeps us from reaching the world. People can tell you how much they love you and love chiropractic. Find out how much they love you when you open up right next door to them, okay? Let's see if they really love you. I've never in my 32 years and all the associates I had even considered a radius clause. This is what we do. This is the time frame we're going to teach you and have you practice with us. At the end of that time frame, if you choose to stay on, fantastic. If everything's a great fit. If not, if you go across the street, and we will help you any way that we can. For people who wish to go with you, great. They go with you. In my vision of the non-therapeutic model of chiropractic, there literally is a chiropractor on every corner. If we took every chiropractor practicing on the planet, we're looking at approximately 104,000 chiropractors, and we put them in the United States, or as they say in Mexico and Brazil, Estados Unidos. If every chiropractor came here and had this vision and opened up on every corner, there are over 300 million people living in the United States. That means every chiropractor would see over 3,000 visits a week. Folks, the non-therapeutic model has the vision that we are in a massive shortage of chiropractors. I've heard schools, I've been at meetings, I've heard schools talk about, oh, we don't want to saturate the market. There's no way this market's going to be saturated. There is not ever going to be enough chiropractors practicing around the world, serving their communities, checking their spines for vertebral subluxations. Remember, we understand through the principles of chiropractic and our philosophy, our relentless asking of why, that vertebral subluxations have no clinical symptom presentation whatsoever. The only way you know if a vertebral subluxation is present, the only way I know as a chiropractor practicing relentlessly for 33 years with love and passion, the only way I know if a vertebral subluxation exists is to go and see my chiropractor and have them analyze my spine to see if a vertebral subluxation exists, then educatedly placing a universal force in the direction that the body is trying to make the adjustment, so that universal force can be transitioned to an innate force. And a vertebral subluxation can then be restored to its innate normal position. How do we know that? Through post-analysis. The principles of the basic science, the philosophy of asking why, the application in the office of the applied science. This message must be simple. This message must be congruent. Consistently. There are times that I'll look and I'll be critiquing myself, and I'm like, that could be taken as incongruent. That could be getting close to that line. Because remember, folks are not hearing this message outside of our office. People say, well, what bad could it do if I prescribe vitamins in my office? What bad could it do if I have therapies in my office? I don't think bad is the right term. More distracted. Why do I have such a wonderful grasp of chiropractic philosophy and principle at this point? Because it's what I study and think about relentlessly in my office, because the adjustment of vertebral subluxations is my exclusive focus. When you are in that medical model of getting sick people well and you're prescribing vitamins, that could be very necessary, period. But now your mind's on that. And what's the best prescription for whatever person? And what's the best therapeutic prescription? And your mind's on that. And your mind's, are they getting well? And your mind's on that therapy of the adjustment. Even if you have that great pre-post analysis, everything you've done is confusing, diluted, not congruent, and folks are either going to get well and not come back, or they're not going to get well and not come back. And then the transition that if they do come back and they're getting checked once a month, which personally I would never recommend. I want to get checked 2-3 times a week myself. I'll never recommend less for any human being. Do people comply? In my office, yeah, absolutely. Does everybody comply? No, because not everybody's my people. My people. Talking with Alan earlier about my people. Yes, you want your people, your tribe. You can look at hundreds of videos, countless hours that Alan and I have put together because we are great at working and getting this job done. That's my tribe. That's my people. Your office is your people. They're like, okay, everything you say makes sense. I really trust you. I really resonate with you. I want to be a part of this. There is no way to be a practicing chiropractor and not have some of your practice built on your personality. I've been very fortunate that I've had over a dozen chiropractors associate with me over the years, and my loving practice excited to receive them and give them the opportunity to check their spine. And when chiropractors have moved within the community, many folks have gone with them, and we encourage them to do so. So we love the impact, and they go off to build wonderful, massive offices, and more people are being seen in the community, and it's a wonderful thing. I think it's a shame to have radius clauses where that can't happen. We're denying the public and our community a really great opportunity to have chiropractic in their lives. I only want people in my life who are passionately excited to be in my company. If that's not the case, I'm not your guy. There's 17 other chiropractors in my community. We'll help you find one that resonates with you, you see. So when we're building this, to experience true joy in profession, in your professional life, you've got to be with your tribe. And when people are enthusiastically excited to see you because you presented something uncompromised in how you could truly help them, that's your tribe. To compromise chiropractic, it's blasphemy. It is so beautiful and so needed and so amazing. We can't compromise it in any way. We can simply bring it to the world in its most congruent way possible. And to add to it is to dilute it. And why would you want to do that? So now people understand what chiropractic is, because when they're in your office, you're exclusively focused on talking about that in your mind, and your energy is focused on that. So when they're out and everywhere else they go, they're hearing about the beautiful, wonderful vitamins and therapies and genetic work that they could be doing. And it is all great stuff. It's simply not chiropractic. And the only place they're going to get chiropractic is in your office. Why are you denying them that opportunity? Because of an incongruent message, or because you don't think you can sell it. If you don't think you can sell it, get on the Institute right now. We will teach you how to sell it and close it with massive congruency and to honesty. Because everything about chiropractic is service after the close. Vet the right people. We're not simply trying to close people to get the money. Money's a wonderful thing, and I want you to be massively wealthy. We're helping you find the right fit for what you do and build a practice that you never want to vacation from. You never want to retire from. If I hear chiropractors talk about retirement, there's a part of me that doesn't understand that. I'm not saying I won't cut back one day, but I'm only 55 years old. That's a long time from now. I'm saying that I don't ever want to stop doing this. I don't ever want to stop checking spines. I don't ever want to stop serving the people I serve. Some I've been serving 20-something years. Others, maybe I've been serving for 5 months, but it seems like I've known them forever. Because it brings me so much joy and purpose. I can't imagine moving away from that. So, let me ask you this. What is your mission and purpose and vision? Those are 3 very different things. Your purpose comes from everything from your past. That's where you have come together to decide what your values are, how you define chiropractic, how you define the adjustment, how you define innate normal. That comes from all your studying and all your research, and you put these things together. That's your purpose. Your mission is where you're taking it in the future. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to impact the world? How are you going to ding the universe? Your vision is to be able to see this. Your vision is to be able to see past this moment, that what you do in this moment is going to impact the future, and what's going to be the return on that investment. You see, chiropractic did a brilliant thing. Chiropractic made obvious that there was a problem. And that problem was something only chiropractic could solve. That problem was a vertebral subluxation. It made it massively, undeniably clear of the existence of this vertebral subluxation. Undeniably clear. And these different techniques and these different analysis to find vertebral subluxation. And that problem is resolved only by you, the chiropractor, that's been extensively trained on finding vertebral subluxations, understanding the components of a vertebral subluxation, gently helping the body adjust that vertebral subluxation back to innate normal, allowing a fuller expression of innate impulses. How powerful, how beyond imagination when we're dealing with such a metaphysical concept that took two half cells in a mother and put them together to form one cell that divided 400 trillion times, differentiated into different cells, and formed a completely independent human being. This is the metaphysical laws that we work with. This is the gift that we have. Nobody else on the planet understands vertebral subluxations the way the chiropractic profession does. What will we do with it? What is our purpose? What is our mission? And what is our vision to carry it out? What is your vision? Ask yourself, where do you see chiropractic 10, 20 years from now? Where do you see yourself 10, 20 years from now? What kind of difference do you want to make? Reggie Gold would offer all kinds of different challenges. One of his challenges is this. If chiropractic was illegal and your office was raided by law enforcement, would they find enough evidence to arrest you and convict you of being a chiropractor? If you were the last chiropractor on the planet, would chiropractic survive? I have been very fortunate that I've been involved with different books. If you want to see more on the two models of chiropractic, check out my book on Amazon, Why Chiropractic. It's a great education for your public. I've also co-authored two books with my friend David Serio. This is the second. He came up with 33. And I had a couple principles that I wrote about in that, where we write about the 33 principles. There are many people involved. And I also have the privilege of having two more principles in 33 Gold, just released and also available on Amazon, 33 Gold. I'm currently reading it myself. I'm super excited. It is so well written. I love different perspectives of the 33 principles. This is an absolute book for the thinkers. You love chiropractic principle, you love chiropractic basic science, you love chiropractic philosophy, get this book, read it, and drop a comment here if you'd like to have a discussion on it, if you'd like to maybe even have a Zoom meeting about it, and if you would like to have a debate. I believe debate, I mean an actual debate where we have a topic and we have two different sides of that topic being debated, and interesting enough, perhaps we even schedule to where both parties switch sides and debate from the opposite side. And now we're getting into real knowledge of the topic. Because in order to have a great debate, you must have the capability of debating it from both sides. So drop some comments. We have our YouTube channel, and we also have a YouTube channel. Well, I have mine at Dr. Mark J. Romano. This is where you're watching it. And you may also be watching it on the Chiropractic Trust YouTube channel as well. And this, you may be on the Institute watching this. If you're on a social media venue platform such as YouTube, drop some comments. Tell me what you think. And I love the interaction. We've got some decisions to make as a profession. First, we have to understand the state of chiropractic. Where are we right now? The praxeology, the study of what is. This is where chiropractic is right now. We have two distinct professions within chiropractic. The vast majority of chiropractors in the therapeutic model of physical medicine, and happy to be there. And I will never impose my will on anybody to practice any way that they don't want to. I'm simply looking for accountability. And then we have a smaller group called the non-therapeutic model of chiropractic. where chiropractic is a separate and distinct profession and alternative to nothing, focused exclusively on the adjustment of vertebral subluxations for a fuller expression of innate impulses. And that is the exclusive objective, disassociated from all physiological outcome. Folks, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Please drop some comments, contact me. You can see where the link to my website is as well. I look forward to hearing from you. And also check out the link, ntscinstitute.com, and get your practice to that next level of communication and massive success. Live with power, live with passion, live with purpose. Let's ding the universe.